Hey everybody, DiIvory Edgecomb back to you again with another call of the day. If you don't know me, I'm a business and marketing expert, Amazon best-selling author of the book Bridging the Gaps. But in this video, I'm a police officer telling you about my story of the day, or the call of the day. So, call of the day number 8. Take responsibility. Happens all the time, right? What can you take responsibility for? Everything, even if it's not even yours. So, before we get into the story, here's the disclaimer. The events and the people are based on real events and real occurrences, except the people and the names are totally fictional. So, take responsibility. Today's call of the day was just outright stupid. Just stupid. Could happen to you, could happen to me, but like the title says, just take responsibility. This guy unfortunately gets his grandfather dumped onto him and his wife and his 2 kids in a 3-bedroom house that they live with the mother-in-law as well. It's Hollywood people. So the house is packed. The grandfather is elderly. I forgot what his actual age was, but for this purpose, I say about 82, 85, somewhere around there. So he's very coherent. But he's very, very fragile. Now, the guy just so happens to fall and bump his head in the house. Could happen anywhere. It could happen, it could happen walking on the sidewalk somewhere. Happens to bump his head in the house. Rescue comes and picks him up, takes him to the hospital, and of course, if you guys are in this profession, in the hospital profession, the nurses contact the social workers think to make sure that there isn't any type of foul play, they call investigators. So we get called out there to back up the investigator, and the guy was pretty cool. Oh man, he basically stated that he just got up and fell. Nobody was around, nobody seen it. He told them to call for rescue. He had a big gash on his head, which did look suspicious, but when he described how he fell, it coincided with what he said. Now, from there, we have to go and see the house to make sure the house is okay and everything's deemed okay for him to go back and there is no abuse or neglect. This happens. This is a normal occurrence. So we go to the house and his grandson walks out. His grandson is already nervous at police presence. Don't know why. I really don't know why. But he's tatted everywhere. Everywhere. Face, hands. Like, he could never get a good corporate job anywhere. It's that bad. Not judging him, because obviously I have tattoos, but it just shows everywhere. Face. And he even had the Mike Tyson tattoo. That was a funny one. So, the investigator's basically asking him questions about the incident, what happened, and he's like super defensive. And from defensive, he goes into a state that I'm pretty sure a lot of people operate in. And it's one that I used to operate in. And I didn't really understand how it sounded to other people or what it looked like until I was in front of him, because he's a young guy. Now, mind you, the investigator is basically asking what happened, what's going on. She's trying to figure out how can she provide better services to the house to help out the old man, or if they need to put him in a home if that's what's needed. So the grandson is basically stating that the aunt and the uncle want to take care of their father. They dumped him off to the grandkid, and then they had to go handle some business. And this happened in that little limbo transition where they were handling other business, I guess, to come back to make sure they take care of him so they don't have to put him in a home. Well, this kid goes on a tangent about he doesn't like police presence around his house. He feels that he's some type of criminal. People are going to look at him like he's some type of criminal. I never talked like that. But the next series of things was just, I don't know. I'm so glad I'm out of that state. And I hope that if you guys hear this and you are in this state, that is something that you get out of. First, he started explaining how old he was. And because how old he wasn't able to afford the things to help the grandfather out. A better house, I guess better living conditions, because all of them are staying there. He basically said his rent was like 12, 1300 for a 3-2, which I think, yeah, this one was a nice 3-2 home, nice home size. Really? You're complaining about a low rent in a 3-2 when you can easily pay double that for a house the size that he apparently wanted to stay in. Everything was just so negative because of his age. He couldn't do this. He couldn't do that. He don't have money. The work is slow and they're barely making ends meet. All I heard was so much negativity that his wife ended up coming out. And then I can just see, and she came out speaking negative too. I tell you guys this because when you speak negativity, it will come to you. If that's what you're thinking, you will get it. If you don't know or don't believe in the law of attraction, it really does work and it really is prevalent. So when you're speaking things like that, you're kind of speaking them into existence. And that's what this kid was doing because of his age, and he doesn't have this and he doesn't have that, and he doesn't understand why police is there and why are we even in front of him. We were only there to help him. Something good was supposed to come out of that, but he was looking at it from a totally negative perspective. And I remember when I used to look at things in a negative perspective because I didn't have anyone to tell me and push it and ingrain it into my head. Like, no matter how negative a situation might be, always look at the positive, because what you're going to get from the negative is already what's happening. But what positive can you get out of that to move forward, to better the situation so that it doesn't happen again? In his case, it would have been, what is the investigator's listen? What an investigator is saying that he can listen to help better proof the house or do whatever he needs to do, or even get services that could be free or reduced price to help him out, instead of worrying about the investigator and police and what everybody else is thinking, because nobody else is in his world dealing with what he's dealing with. Everybody can look in their outside perspective of whatever's going on, especially when it's including you. It's just their perspective. You guys got to remember that. This is something that I was trying to explain it to him, but he just looked at me and told me, I guess, because I am where I am and I'm an officer, I'm in a better situation than him. And I told him we're all just people at the end of the day. Just like now. Right now, this uniform is off. And I'm a person wearing my own shirt, my own clothes, and I'm back into the real world. It's just a job. He didn't understand that. So all the negativity that he was just breeding, we got to walk into the house. You can just see it's just negative everywhere. Well, we would have got a better TV, but I couldn't afford it. And, he stays in this type of bed, but, we wanted this bed, but we couldn't afford it. It was just so negative. It was one of those calls I just had to get out, because I know it. I see it. I still have some friends that just speak negative, and I want you guys to understand the main thing out of that was just take responsibility, take ownership. All he had to do was say, yes, I'm taking care of my grandfather. I'm doing the best that I can. How can I get services? How can I get help? I tried to explain that to him too. I said, man, listen, either you are taking care of him or you're not. Well, I'm only doing it now because of this and because of that. Take ownership. What is it? Think about it right now. What is it that you are not taking ownership on? There is something in your life that you are not taking ownership of. And what is it that you actually can take ownership and responsibility for that will help boost you and prepare you or propel you even to wherever it is that you want to be? When you start taking responsibility for something and start taking ownership for it, it gets it mentally in your mind that this is what you have to do. These call of the days. I took responsibility. Hey, this is what I have to do. It might not be a have to or a must for somebody else, but I have to, because I want people to understand that this happens to everybody. Not just you, not just in your business profession, not just in your life. It happens everywhere. And I have the fortunate opportunity to run across different situations every day, and I deal with different facets of things, which makes me the guy that I am. And if you know me well, you know I'm able to talk to anybody, relate to anybody. It's because I deal with stuff like this. So take responsibility for things in your life. Business, home, kids, family, whatever it is, take responsibility of it. And if you need help, I do have my free text messaging series, which I always tell you guys to join and opt in on. I'll make sure I write it in below in the comments. But just text motivation or inspiration to 786-410-7776. Again, motivation or inspiration, either words, to 786-410-7776. Those are the type of text messages that'll get you to start getting mental clarity on owning the day. Hey, let's go get it. Nobody's going to give it to you. Most successful people had to work, and we all do too, because you are successful just like I'm successful. But you got to put in the work to actually be seen like everybody else. Come on, people. Take ownership. Call of the day number 8. Like always, like, comment, share, and tag some more police officers, because I know they have some stories. I would like to hear them. I'm pretty sure you would too. And let's keep some engagement going, guys. Take care.